Okay, we got the foil here. It's something I'm what's going on about.
Hey, we're live.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, truly behind the scenes, because it's before the show, and we're running through the show notes and prepping it out together, and it is what it is. So this is Right on SC. We're going live here on the radio in just a minute. This is our behind the scenes for our patrons. Welcome to the show. All right, so this week we are picking up our literary devices conversation. We've been doing this most of the month. And last week we did motifs and themes and symbolism. And we talked about how motifs and symbolism really work to reinforce the theme. Well, this week we're talking about juxtaposition. And in the notes I put the juxtaposition is another one of these sort of workhorse tools that you can use to support the theme of the story.
Right.
So a lot of what we're going to talk about is how juxtaposition puts two things that are opposite of one another side by side so that you can see the differences between them. And if you are using
emphasize emphasize one aspect of the other as a sort of accent.
So we're going to talk about foil, which is your favorite. Tell our patrons what a foil is.
I feel it's necessary. I don't feel it's not favorite. I feel it's necessary.
All characters must have one.
Yeah, well, it depends. No, all characters must have one to accent a personality trait you want in that character.
Okay.
And that's incredibly important.
Especially, so for example, if you have a character who is honest, right? And honesty is their thing. Like they feel proud of their honesty. They feel proud of the fact they never tell a lie, right? You've got to have a character who can't be trusted because this character lies on the regular, right? Okay.
Like Dostoevsky's The Idiot. The main character?
Yes.
Never tells a lie.
But there's somebody in the story for whom lies are their trade, right? Like that's
the rest of the world.
Everybody else.
And that really shows off, he's an idiot. And then, of course, he ends up doing horrible things because he assumes everyone else doesn't tell lies either.
He assumes everybody else is also truthful.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, so, sorry, in my ear, they're talking about monkeypox. Anyway.
Monkeypox.
So... juxtaposition is something we see frequently in political rhetoric, but it's also something we see on the news and something we see in essays. It's not just fiction or poetry that uses juxtaposition. A lot of times people use juxtaposition to create a definition, to help define something. And we're not really going to get into it on today's show. I don't know. Sometimes we ramble off on tangents, but one of the risks of juxtaposition is hyperbole. What I mean by that is like people taking the extreme opposite, right? So, and we see this all over the place on the internet now. Right?
Yeah. Well,
everybody is some kind of Nazi. The world is ending, right? Like there's
literally Hitler.
There's one path to prosperity, and there's one path that is a dystopian hellscape, right? And so
there's nothing in between.
There's nothing in between. So there's a lot of this hyperbole on the internet right now, and juxtaposition is that, right? Where you're going to, or it's not really that. It's the more measured, responsible version of that, where you're putting two things together so that the one can bring out the opposite of the other. And that's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. We want to thank you guys for being patrons of the show. Anything you need from us that can help boost your work, promote your work, we'd be glad to do it for you. So just let us know. The South Carolina Writers Association has their conference coming up in October. We hope to see all of you there. There's a lot of events between now and then, so hopefully we'll get to see you out boots on the ground around and about town. And if you do see us out in person, like let's hang out. Let's have a beer. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your weekend. And, that's it.